Whiskey and Nerds podcast.
Disney release. They did the big Disney premiere with Emily Blunt and The Rock out at Disney World, which was, there's a lot of videos on that, which is cool. But going on the Penelope
barrel strength.
Yeah.
Which sits at like 114 and then some percentage.
Okay, so are there tasting notes? Okay, I don't want those yet. So we're going to try this. You've already tried it.
I have already tried this. Which is funny because I've already tried this, I think, once or twice, and it's already the same level as the one next to it.
Well, we did do 3 pours here.
True.
So we're going to try this, give our notes.
Yeah.
And I haven't drank in a week.
Yeah.
So my notes are going to be...
advanced.
Yeah.
A fresh palate.
Tastes like whiskey. Smells good. I get vanilla. Kind of darker fruits and oak.
The palate
It doesn't smell overly spicy.
It's not.
But it does smell good.
My palate, I'll tell you, I've had it before, just tasting it again now. It is citrus and vanilla. Not so much like a creamsicle, but...
There is like a creamy vanilla. Is that like a custard or a toffee?
Almost like a tart.
Well, there's like a dark, so like a kind of like a creme brulee.
Yeah.
Not quite as creamy, but it's there and it has like that sugary sweet note.
Yeah.
You got like an orange zest, not overly fruity on the actual.
But if there is one fruit note, it's definitely a citrus note. And it's funny watching basically the world of bourbon TikTok blow up. I've seen a few people being like, I wish we could have got Penelope in our state. We didn't get it in our state. So apparently it wasn't released to every state.
No, and that is one thing that, for as much as Texas doesn't get, we do get craft stuff that others don't.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, so I've been getting out a lot more lately, traveling-wise. And I go to liquor stores and I'm like, either your state doesn't care that much about bourbon, or y'all just don't get that much bourbon. Because where I go to shop is right by my house. And we have a wall of bourbon.
Yeah.
To whereas whenever I go to another liquor store, or even like a Total Wine, it's a shelf or two.
Well, outside Texas. You go to a Total Wine in Texas, they have an entire...
aisle.
Their mainstay in their place. You have all their wine on one wall. You have a mainstay of whiskey. It's bourbons, scotches, and
with barrels down the center filled with bourbon also.
Exactly. And you have your ryes and Americans and Canadians and Irish in the back and all
moonshine,
that.
shelf.
And then you have here's our tiny section of rum, and here's our tequila section, and there's that. But your mainstay...
like rum, tequila, and vodka in one aisle.
Yeah, but the mainstay, because it's so popular right now, is the whiskey.
Yeah.
And then, like, Liquor King, half that store is whiskeys.
Yeah.
And then you have your couple aisles of your other things.
Yeah. At Empire, wall of bourbon, shelf of rum, shelf of tequila, shelf of vodka.
Yeah. Okay, so according to the website...
Tell us about Penelope.
Batch 7, aged 3.5 to 5 years, New American Oak.
Okay.
And completely uncut, non-chill filtered. Each barrel was hand-selected and blended into a single batch. So, barrel was hand-selected and blended in a single batch to create the unique offering. This stuff is MGP.
Yeah.
It is from Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Yeah.
Aroma. So, let's do this real time.
El Cento.
Sweet caramel with hints of maple syrup and candied sweetness. I will give you the syrupy note and candied sweetness. I don't get caramel at all. I can kind of see the syrup a little bit.
I can see the syrup a lot. I get a lot of syrup. I got sweet caramel when you said it, but again, psychosomatic.
Yeah.
I do get the syrup.
I get syrup and candied sweetness. I'll give you those.
Yeah.
Forward notes.
Is that secondary nose? Do you plug a nostril? put out a line and snort.
You broke down the tasting notes into 3 sections. So forward notes, smooth.
Tip of your tongue.
Yeah, smooth caramel syrup, brown sugar, subtle barrel char, hints of butterscotch and creme brulee. Okay, so we kind of nailed in the group in the body. Sweetness transitions to notes of cinnamon, barrel char, and maple syrup.
Okay.
Hey, Domino's does stuff. I can't skip this ad. Anyway, so okay, yeah, I can kind of see that. And then it finishes spicy cinnamon, lingering spice and heat.
I don't really get a whole lot of lingering
Anything,
and I definitely don't get spice at all. They hint on cinnamon a lot.
Well, I mean, they hint on cinnamon just because of the spicy finish. I could even, if I told you it was peppery, you would believe that. You'd be like, oh yeah, it is really peppery. Just because of how it finishes. It's, for being barrel strength, it does not linger.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
A couple seconds and it's gone.
You're right, yeah. It's not citrus, it's creme brulee. And I get that, and then it just kind of fades off. Not in a bad way. It does linger a bit.
Yeah.
It lingers longer than like an 80, 90, 100 proof wood.
Fair.
But
yes.
it does not linger like a Elijah Craig barrel proof wood,
Well,
where it's like a minute long linger.
yeah. So, man, they go deep on these. I like this. Type, this one's 4 grain, straight bourbon whiskey, 115.2 proof, non-chill filtered. Process, blend of 3 bourbon mash bills comprised of 4 grains, corn, wheat, rye, and malted barley. Age and barrel char, 3.5 to 5 years. The staves are at a number 4. The heads are a number 2.
Okay.
Man, that's how detailed Penelope goes on these.
Very detailed.
And then the mash bill is 74% corn, 16% wheat, 7% rye, 3% malted barley.
So that explains why it's a little bit sweeter of a bourbon.
I do like 4 grains that lean slightly more wheat. I don't like heavily wheated bourbons though.
Like Weller.
Yeah, like it's okay, but there's a funky note. I got a Spirits of French Lick over here that's their wheated bourbon. There's a weird funky note in there. It's sweeter. There's like a creamy bread flavor to it, like a buttery toast type thing.
Yeah.
But there's a weird funky aftertaste on it that never really registers for me.
Yeah.
That was that one. This is really good.
It is really good. And I think, like you said, the 4 grain, where it's primarily corn, heavy wheat. I'd be interested to see what else that compares to with that exact same breakdown. 4 grain, that's heavy corn, and then secondary wheat.
I would be actually interested to see, give me multiple 4 grains, one with heavier wheat, one with heavier rye,
One with heavier barley.
one with, because I mean, this is 74% corn.
Yeah.
So bring the corn down a little bit and raise those
And
two.
introduce the others.
How that changes, which is the beauty of making whiskey, is you can adjust these just a few percentages and completely change the whiskey. And then
the other terrifying thing is you can do that, and you have to wait 4 years to see how it turns out.
to find out if it's crap.
Yeah.
Which they talk about how master distillers and master blenders, they will taste their mash bill
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah, but
Their entire life.
No, not the finished product, the mash bill.
Oh, the bill itself.
When they're fermenting everything and doing all that, because if that blend doesn't taste good, if your mash bill doesn't taste good, your new make doesn't taste good, your whiskey's not going to taste good. So when they're constantly trying that gives them an idea of what they're going to have in their finished product.
Yeah, that's why they're called master distillers.
And the only way to do it is to work in a distillery and do
try
it
a lot of really bad stuff.
Constantly. Yeah.
I wonder if you have a bad one, if you just chuck it, or do you just keep constantly adding and changing and trying to make it better?
No, you throw cinnamon in it and call it Fireball.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or peanut butter and call it Screwball.
Bring in the Jif.
Yeah, where's the bananas? Where's my banana Laffy Taffy? So, okay. Not a whole lot happened. Actually, I want to keep this open because I want to go to the toasted one
Yes,
next.
because the next one we have is Penelope Toasted, which was, I don't know if it was a Texas release only. It does say Texas series on it.
Well, there's different series. This is one of them.
Okay.
Um,
But my glass
I
of...
do love how detailed they are on these things.
Yeah, it seems like they dove deep on their own tastings, which I don't know why you wouldn't.
Some people, well, usually if you're not, it's because you're trying to hide something. Like, you'll find whiskeys that talk about made for Texas in Texas by Texans, distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Pandering. Yeah, I had one that was even, I think it was even called Texas Bourbon, made in Indiana.
Or you want to talk pandering? Blue Note, 10-year, single barrel. Delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. It's a Tennessee whiskey with a sticker on that says made for Texas. What the fuck does that mean? What does made for Texas mean if it's a Tennessee? How about this?
What it means is they put it on all the bottles that went to Texas.
Yeah, it means that you dumb hillbillies will buy anything with your own name on it.
Which, they're
Yeah.
not wrong.
I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you.
Yeah.
So random shit happened this week. Mm-hmm. Let's start on a low note, on a bummer of a note.
Okay. I'll only raise it a little.
Joey Jordison, former Slipknot drummer,
Yeah.
passed away at 46.
Alongside.
In his sleep, no drugs were found to be an issue.
He was pretty young too, like 46, I think.
46.
you said? Yeah.
He was actually dismissed from Slipknot a couple albums ago
Yeah.
because he was dealing with a lot of, I don't know if it was autoimmune issues. He had health conditions, chronic conditions that for a while there, he wasn't even able to play drums. But after he was let go, he started a band called Scar the Martyr where he was a drummer and something else. He played guitar for the Murder Dolls, which was really popular like 15 years ago. One of the best drummers
Yes.
alive. If you ever watched...
Late 90s, early 2000s Slipknot.
He was... The video of him live where he's strapped in and does the drum solo where...
He's spinning and turning upside down.
Yeah, and it goes like that, and it lights up a pentagram on him, and he's playing the drum solo.
Yeah.
He got the idea. Tommy Lee used to do that a long time ago. So you're like, well, let's do that, and I'll just do my own solo.
Yeah.
Truly amazing. It's a loss. It's a loss of talent.
Yeah.
So, to that guy.
Yeah. He also died alongside, they say Death's Come in threes. And I guess we're still waiting on the third. Unless there's the third one I didn't know about. The bassist in ZZ Top. Passed away as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So, one of the beards.
I mean, Billy Gibbons has been trucking along for years, and they're well into their 80s, if not early 90s.
And still touring.
Yeah, they never stopped.
Yeah.
Legitimately, just he kept going, kept playing LaGrange, and
Yeah, so
she's got
a
legs.
local radio station out here, 92.5, is playing ZZ Top all weekend, which they've got quite a few hits. They're a pretty popular band.
Yeah, they put out a lot of them. I mean, that's not a cut short life, and that is not a fully lived one either.
Yeah. And that's saying something, dying in your 80s. So.
Even if you're not,
Yeah.
even if your job hasn't been professional rock star,
Yeah.
dying in your 80s is a win. So,
Yeah.
there's that. People die. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Circle of life.
Happens. Make it matter.
Yeah.
So, all right, my first thing. Scarlett Johansson sued Disney.
I saw that. And we've been talking about this for a while.
Uh-huh.
The difference between seeing a movie in theaters versus seeing a movie at home. Now we see some of the implications of that.
Yes. So, you knew there was going to be ramifications. Robert Downey Jr. doesn't make anywhere near as much money at being Iron Man if Disney Plus has been around the whole time and you're dual releasing. Because he got box office sales written into his contract.
Yes.
That's why he made $1 billion in the first Avengers.
The $75 million on each of the last two. And it also makes you wonder, is that why they pushed it back? Did they hold us back from seeing that movie for over a year so she could get paid?
I'm sure she wanted it that way.
Because I'm sure the whole reason for pushing it back is we want to open this up in the box office and make a lot of money on it. Because that's how she gets paid.
Because I'm sure she has her set up salary, which is more than everyone I know's salary put together.
Yes.
And she made it in 6 months on one movie.
Yeah.
Hey, you do you. I'm not knocking it. Make your money. But she gets bonused when it hits a certain box office number. However, if you choose to open an outlet that is not tied into her contract where they can also watch it, so you still get the views and the money, but you're cutting out my bonus.
I wonder what the numbers are. If it was movie theater Disney Plus, or if it was movie theater Disney Plus, or if they were dead even. But still, dead even means this was here and not here.
This is where a good, quick fact checker comes into play.
That would be great to have. Anyways, I also hear Emma Stone is right behind her with Cinderella, or not Cinderella, Cruella.
Doing the same thing?
Yeah. Her salary was set up the same way. She hadn't actually done anything yet, but I heard she's in the process.
Rumored of, hey, I also got screwed with you guys doing this.
Yeah.
Hey, I went to the theater and saw Black Widow. I did not go to the theater to watch Cruella.
Yeah, I Disney Plus them both.
Ooh. Black Widow in theater, went and saw it on the giant XD Cinemark.
Yeah. But said mine were both, one was by choice, one was by force.
Understand.
So.
But I wanted to experience Black Widow. I didn't want to just watch it.
Experience the Marvel movie.
Exactly. So that one, yeah. However, the downfall of going to a theater is I paid $30 for 2 tickets for an XD thing to watch it once. Where I could have paid $30 at home to watch as much as I wanted for, what, a week?
A month.
A month?
A month.
I could have paid $30 to have it for a month?
So you basically pay $1 a day to watch it.
Do you have any idea how many times I would have watched that movie at this point?
Yeah. 4, 5, 6.
Easily. It's worth every viewing.
Yeah.
So, if you're giving me the option, I might just go buy a much bigger TV, because this thing is bullshit, and put it in here and start doing that so I can start watching those more. Yeah. Also, I don't watch a ton of TV because I don't have time. Yeah. So that's the only reason I haven't gone and bought a reasonably priced 75-inch TV.
Yeah, like $700 now. Cheaper than the 42-inch we bought when we were 18.
I know.
But yeah, so it brings up the debate is...
What you're going to see is everyone changing the contracts now.
Yeah.
Everyone going back into contract.
All streaming platforms. Because I went and watched A Quiet Place in theaters the weekend it came out. 2 weeks later, it was already on a streaming service, Paramount, which I think is the only one that no one really subscribes to yet.
Yeah. Do what you can. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently they're going to be the other movie-going one alongside HBO. Because HBO, everything's going to HBO Plus. Paramount's going to be the other one because of all the Paramount movies. So they're going to have to work that into the streaming services.
Yeah, because you got all these guys like Sebastian Stan when he signed on to Marvel coming into, First Avenger. The dude had like a 10-picture deal. But if you do this 10 years ago...
Yeah. How much technology and
COVID or something like COVID hits and you guys have to change how you release things.
Yeah. If you release everything purely at home, well, then your contract is
I'm
nothing.
locked in. But now you want to do it this way. And that's to say, I mean, he very easily, hey, man, we got a 6-episode thing we're thinking about. We can pay you on like you're doing 2 movies.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure there's a million legal things, contract negotiations that you could have done with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of contract negotiations, Aaron Rodgers threw his big old dick on the table, and the Packers said,
that was my second one.
Whatever you want, sir.
To keep him he restructured his deal. So he's there through 2023, which is 2 seasons. So, 2022, which is the 2021 season and the 2022 season. However, in his contract it states, if we have a difference of opinions, we part ways the second year. Now, if you go and become league MVP again, I think you should stay. We don't have a difference of opinion. That's very loose-based logic.
But he also...
on him getting out.
Got everything he wanted of...
He did.
If we're going to be bitching at each other like we have been...
Yeah.
You get to trade me. However... I got the Dak Prescott trade clause of, you don't get to trade me to...
And you don't get to tag me.
Yeah. You don't get to tag me. Deshaun Watson, I think, had that too. You don't get to tag me, and if you trade me, I get to decide where.
Yes.
So if the Jets continue to suck,
I'm not going to New
you
York.
can't dump me there.
Yeah. I get to pick where I go if the offer comes in.
Exactly.
So his other stipulation was, I want Randall Cobb back.
He knew how to use them.
He did.
He was okay with
But they
us.
just signed a slot receiver in the draft, like round 1 or 2.
It wasn't one.
Yeah, I think it was 2. They signed
I
like
don't
a
even know if it was
solid
2.
wide receiver.
I think it was 3.
It may have been 3. But still, like,
Would
would
they
you
get
want...
Tutu Atwell? It might have been 2, and it might have been Tutu Atwell.
Maybe.
Again, quick fact checkers.
Yep. Be nice. But would you rather have young rookie with potential? Or, granted, you have history with Randall Cobb, and Randall Cobb's good for the locker room, but he hasn't really stayed healthy the past couple of years. And he's for wide receivers.
Even when he was with the Packers, he had a consistent injury issue.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he asked to get Clay Matthews back. They're like, we tried.
Yeah.
And then I think he asked for a couple other people back too. So his biggest thing, and this thing I want to touch on.
Where's
most,
Jordy Nelson?
He was also upset. He said, "This is the reason why I'm upset with the league, or not the league, the organization, and our team," which he shit all over in a press conference.
Yes, he did.
Dirty.
Yeah. He literally.
So, anyways, the big thing I want to talk about with the Aaron Rodgers thing was his biggest qualm was, we've released Jordy Nelson, we've released Randall Cobb, we've released Goldilocks, we've released our whole team, and I had no say in it. So I'm not saying I want to make all the decisions, I want to make the draft decisions, but like Brady, I want a seat at the table. I want to be a voice in the conversation.
Which I fully believe that he's earned.
It's fair, right?
Yeah, the Jordy Nelson thing was the beginning of the end on their relationship.
Yeah.
And then you followed it up with a new coach who, instead of drafting someone to help him, another person to put across from Devontae Adams, you went and drafted his replacement.
Yeah. And
Which
Jordan
worked
Love's
because
just
you pissed him off and you gave him
warming up his arm.
Yeah, exactly. Because you pissed him off and he gave you an MVP season because of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also on 2 straight years of losing in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
He's how old? 38?
39.
39?
And then you give away the defensive Aaron Rodgers, Clay Matthews. So it's like,
In their defense of, look, you want to reference Brady and the Patriots and all that kind of thing? They cut their players when it was time, and
yes.
they cut Clay Matthews when it was time.
So 2 things on that topic. One, the one thing Aaron Rodgers, the league, the organization, the team hasn't said yet is, well, the reason why Brady can re-sign his whole team and bring back all these players and always stay competitive, he's not the second highest paid quarterback in the league,
buddy.
He's actually like the 20th.
He continuously
Takes pay cuts.
Throughout his whole career, took pay cuts
Yes.
to build his team. He didn't throw a hissy fit to get all the money and then complain that there wasn't enough money to build a Madden team around him.
Yeah.
You know who has a Madden team right now?
Brady.
Tampa.
Yeah. And that's why he has a seat at the table. It's, we need to sign this guy. We can't afford him. Take $2 million from me. We can afford him.
Yep.
So if you want to sign Clay Matthews, Jordy Nelson, all these big name players,
Don't sign them. They're old. They're retired.
they are
for
old
love
now.
of God.
But like when you release them, or if the negotiation's up, there's a cap to what you can pay people. So if you sign all your big names, the remainder of the team surrounding that either does not get paid or you do not have high statute players. And it all goes back to who's the highest paid person on the team? Quarterback. And you're like the top 5 in the league.
And we've talked about before, you have a window. If you hit on a quarterback in the draft, like we did with Dak,
Yeah.
like they did with Deshaun Watson, like they did with Russell Wilson's the greatest example. He won a Super Bowl his second or third year.
Yeah.
His second year, I think it was. Second year starting. And Then he came up, his rookie year was over, and he came up for contract. They paid him what Russell Wilson legitimately is worth.
Yeah.
And their defense fell apart. And their offensive line fell apart. And they had no running game.
But they had a high-paid quarterback.
And he's carried the team. But we've seen where quarterbacks carry teams to the first round of the playoffs at best.
Yeah. You make it to the playoffs, but you might not go as far as the team that has a lower-paid quarterback but an all-around better team.
Correct. That's why it's really important to hit on quarterbacks in the draft, or that's why the draft is so important. You have certain teams that really, really lean on building in the draft, and then you have teams that are willing to piece together in free agency and stuff like that. Traditionally, for the past 20 years, the Patriots were draft. Let's draft right. We need to draft well. We'll move all over the draft. We'll trade picks. We'll trade people.
We'll pick up that kid that worked at Kroger 2 weeks ago, and we'll turn him into a Super Bowl champion.
We'll do whatever we need to. And then when they get to like a spot where they're still productive, but they're kind of older, and you knew that there was some injuries they were working through in the season, move on, trade them off, bring in somebody else, get a different draft pick, whatever. Last year, they had the number one amount of freaking free agent signings, and historically, that doesn't really pay off.
No, only in Madden.
We'll see if only in Madden, when every other play is 4 verticals. So that's unfortunately for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think in his time that he has there, because basically, if they don't win a Super Bowl this year, he's going to find a way to throw a fit.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have the team to do it. They have a good team, a very good team.
They'll make the playoffs.
They might even get to the NFC Championship again. But I think that's their window, or that's their ceiling, is the NFC Championship. They won't have enough to get over the hump. And his last year will be with a different team, which I always hate. Like, I don't like that Tom Brady went. I didn't like that Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers after spending his entire career in New England.
Yeah.
Because you like that concept of, Troy Aikman was with the Cowboys. He almost went to both the Eagles and the Dolphins after he retired.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that.
Even now, like, who can say they played in one place the entire time besides Eli? In the generation of us watching football, Eli. Because after that, even Peyton went to Denver. Now Brady went to the Bucks.
Rivers went to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger has stayed.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson is threatening trade.
Yeah.
So
Deshaun Watson is. Well, it's the trade or jail time. So.
Yeah, take your pick. Yeah, it's really, really hard for someone to have a long career. Mahomes is still young, but...
Yeah, who's to say he's going to stay? I think he's going to stay in Kansas City as long as Andy Reid's there. But if Andy Reid were to ever retire, what's to keep him there after that?
Exactly.
So my second part of this question.
Okay. As we nose
dives
the
a little
toasted.
Deep. The Penelope Texas series, toasted series.
So we'll nose on this for a little while. Let it kind of air out because it is barrel strength. Ask me your next question, and then we'll taste and hit the tasting notes.
Okay. At what point in your NFL career as a quarterback do you get the seat at the table? I think we both agree Brady, Rodgers, and maybe even Roethlisberger, and maybe even Rivers if he was still in wherever they are now, L.A., deserve a seat at the table. Peyton would have in Indy. At what point do you go and because what I don't want to see is this to cause a domino effect of every quarterback expecting a seat at the table now. Because Tua does not deserve a seat at the table.
Deshaun Watson doesn't deserve a seat at the table, and he's demanding it. He
So,
was the one wanting to interview coaches.
Yes.
That's not how that works.
No. So at what point in your career is it tenure? You've stayed with a team for 15 years, and now you deserve a seat. Is it championships? You've won 3 Super Bowls, now you deserve a seat. What is the defining factor that earns you a seat at the table?
I think it has to be a combination.
Of everything?
Yes. It can't be, I've been good enough to be here for 10 years, but I haven't won you anything of merit. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Like, he's good enough to do what needs to be done, but he never got them anything. Aaron Rodgers
He's won a Super Bowl.
Physically, as far as just the mechanics go of skills, probably the most talented quarterback of our generation.
Yeah.
He is way more talented than, because especially early on, he could run when Manning and Brady couldn't.
Never could, yeah.
He's far more athletic, has a bigger arm than both of them.
Yeah.
Bigger arm than Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger could move around in the pocket when he was younger.
Roethlisberger couldn't get sacked. That was his big draw.
Yeah.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. He was too big and he was shifty. He had the physical skills that outweighed everybody. He has been around long enough that he understands defenses and he knows. You even see him on hurry-ups where he'll point, hut, and go.
Yeah.
And he's gotten plays on it. He's gotten plays. We've seen it against the Cowboys a million times because Cowboys defenses are morons. I think you better have both. You've better been there for
10. Is it 10 plus? 12, 15?
More than 5. At least. Like, you can't be in your rookie contract or just out of your rookie contract like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So here's a perfect case study. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's been there for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
I think it's on 8 or something like that. Been to a couple, won 1.
Yeah.
Been to 2 or 3? 2?
They've only had like one losing season his whole tenure there.
And he's been there 8 years. Would you say he needs a seat at the table? Because they're not giving him any favors. They got him DK Metcalf, which
that's pretty
second round, it fucking paid off.
Yeah.
But he's no running game since Marshawn left. They even tried to bring Marshawn back and it didn't play off. And they have given him no offensive line help 4 years.
It's a good thing he's a running quarterback because that's all he does.
And then because he became the highest paid, his defense suffered. You couldn't afford the Legion of Boom anymore. You got Bobby Wagner, which fills a lot of holes. But
well, I also want to throw in, I think that it also depends on the team entirely. If I were to think about quarterbacks that deserve a seat at the table right now, Brady and Rodgers are givens. If Breeze was still in New Orleans, it'd be a given to me, based on the team itself. Whereas Roethlisberger has gone to a few. He's won 1? 2. So he's won 2. So 2 Super Bowls. But the organization, in my opinion, has never fucked up.
Yeah.
So I don't want people coming in and being like, hey, let's change this now. Okay. Not saying he could change that with one voice.
Okay, well, now we're starting to...
We're veering.
We're broken timeline into different ideas. So you have a organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers that is, no matter what, this is how the Steelers do things.
Yeah.
For the most part, the Patriots, no matter what, this is how the Patriots do things.
Yeah. We're going to have a winning season.
They didn't really have a Patriot way until it was Brady and Belichick. So let's kind of put a pin in that one.
That's new, where the Steelers have been doing it since like the 60s.
Correct. The Packers have been an up and down mixed mash of who's there, who's the opinions.
Yeah.
Dak could be, I mean, he kind of demanded quite a bit on his new one with the Cowboys.
True.
He's not demanding a seat. Yeah, he's not demanding a seat at the table of any kind yet. He was just trying to protect his own pocket when the collective bargaining agreement changes in 3 years and they'll have more money for him to get paid more money.
Yes. Good
on you. Good business. Way to be smart.
Yeah.
I've watched Ballers. I know how this works.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah. It has to be a combination of both, and it has to make sense.
Like 10-year experience, wins, at least playoff appearances, and then the discussion begins.
Regular winning seasons, at least one Super Bowl, if not multiple, and you've got to be well into your second contract before you can be like, hey, guys, I would like to...
At least have a voice in what's going on.
Exactly. Felt Breeze probably did a little bit, but he didn't really need to because he knew Sean Payton had it. There was trust there.
Yeah.
That makes a difference, too. Quarterbacks demanding seats at the table or having say in it. You talked about Brady.
But your team can't lock down a coach.
Brady's... Yeah. Brady always had Belichick, and he knew, okay, if I give him space, give him opportunity, give him capital,
Yeah.
Give him cap space. I trust that our coach has the way and the know-all to make that valuable.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, Sean Payton, same thing. If you're recycling coaches every 3 years because you got in a fight with Mike McCarthy after 5 years, now you got the other dude who I can't remember the name of, Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur. Yeah. Who you've already had one really bad instance with.
Right out of the
pulling
gate.
you off the field. Yeah.
Right out of the gate because you were being a brat.
Yeah.
Because let's be perfectly honest, Aaron Rodgers is a brat.
Yeah.
He has always been a brat. So, it's not just on the quarterback. I can see that kind of relationship with Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. There's a respect there. There's an understanding of this guy.
There's trust.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, all you need to do is be willing to work towards that coach's goal, and it doesn't matter. That was part of the problem with Phillip Rivers. He went through like 4 or 5 coaches, and none of them knew what the hell they needed to do.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the relationship between the quarterback and the coach. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, you can have that conversation of, we've been doing this, we need to have a conversation of deciding together.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So,
Toasted bourbon.
Toasted bourbon. It smells like graham cracker and marshmallows to me.
It does.
Anything
it smells
toasted.
like a s'more.
Yeah. Legitimately.
And I'm excited because the only toasts we've had besides this is Michter's Toasted Rye, which is an extremely rare bottle. It is, if you've never had it, it's one of the best bourbons we've ever had, ever. I've had the toasted bourbon before at a restaurant in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Also phenomenal. And the crazy thing is the toasted bourbon was the least favorite between those and the toasted sour mash. The toasted sour mash is actually what's second up with the toasted rye.
Really? Yeah. I've heard the toasted sour mash, by those who have had it, say it's one of their elites.
It's pretty good.
Man, this is pretty damn good too. Yeah, this is not... Can you imagine? I think this would be really good and nice. It's pretty oily. Just a couple cubes, open it up, play with it a little bit. But just to sit, you're not trying to sample it in one of these. You're trying to sit, hang out, talk, and drink.
Sip on it, enjoy, yeah.
Man.
That's really good.
So, before I dive into this, it's also another 4-grain.
Okay.
4-grain expression.
Is it the same corn, wheat, heavy?
We'll find out. That's at the end, and I don't want to read notes and be like,
read ahead.
Oh, there are apricots in this. I've never had an apricot. I don't know what that tastes like.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is good.
I love that nose.
This is really good.
If I can get a whiskey where I can just sniff on it forever.
Does this beat out that other one? That port? The Thomas More port? Because that was the other one where like, they didn't make a fucking candle out of this.
No. That thing was something else. It's right there. Yeah, that thing.
Phenomenal.
That nose was probably one of the more elite nosings of something. But
the
substance,
this is up there.
The quality,
yes.
Overall of this beats it because it's a bourbon finished in toasted barrels, not port barrels. So that changes. All right. Penelope Bourbon Toasted Series explores new and unique expressions of our signature 4-grain whiskey. Full maturation in charred new oak. They finish it in freshly toasted barrels. And then same thing like the other one. 3 bourbon mash blend of our signature 3 bourbon mash bills and all different custom chars and toasted. Makes each unique, blah, 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 blah. Extensive hand selection, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit.
Yeah. Someone picked it out.
4-grain, straight bourbon whiskey, barrel strength, uncut, non-chill filtered. Blend of 3 bourbon mash bills comprised of 4 grains, corn, wheat, rye, and malted barley, just like the other one.
Okay.
Each toasted expression series is comprised of different char and toast. So they have series on this, like the barrel strength. This is batch 7. This one is batch 3-2.
Yep.
So it's the 3rd time they've released this. So they mix it up, change it up just a little bit every time.
Yeah.
4 to 6 years. This one is just under 4 years at like 46 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the staves are number 4 char. Heads number 2. I'm trying to slowly go before I hit the notes. Every toast series has a different mash bill. There are no notes for this one.
Really?
No tasting notes whatsoever. So for me, because fuck us.
Yeah.
Oh, that nose is graham cracker and happiness.
It smells like a campfire without the campfire.
Yeah, like not a peatiness, but it...
Yeah, it doesn't smell like what you'd think of the Balcones brimstone, where it's going to smell and taste literally like a campfire.
To
it
me...
tastes like everything about the campfire minus the smoke.
It's not the campfire that you smell. It's the
environment around it.
Yeah, it's the experience around being around a campfire. The smelling of the bite you're about to take in your s'mores.
Yes.
And then on the...
I'd say coincidentally, the taste, the palate, is right there with just that marshmallowy fill your mouth experience.
But not overly sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of like a brown sugar sprinkled over it.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of char in the end. It finishes with your barrel char flavor.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Which isn't a bad thing, especially if you can add a couple cubes to it and open it up at the end. It's full-bodied.
Get rid of that char.
Yeah.
Where you're just going to get the creamy, marshmallowy,
I think
brown
this
sugar.
Would be really good with a
cube or two.
A couple drops of water. This is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan.
Lived up to the hype.
It did. I wish I would have gotten a bottle. I might still go.
Yeah.
All right, so sticking with the NFL since preseason started, Carson Wentz already hurt.
Yep.
Dude, you're like a week in.
Was it his foot?
Yeah.
His knee? Yeah.
He's out indefinitely. They're trying to figure out what to do with his foot, including possibly surgery.
Yeah. Preseason. I also saw Dak Prescott's shoulder was sore after practice one day.
I'm not
I don't
worried
know if
about
it's a
that.
major concern or not. They just reported on it.
They reported it, and right now you're just trying to find anything to report.
Yeah.
You're like, there's football on again. I don't have to watch, top 10 NFL shit.
Yeah, or all the games from last year every time I go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Something about that makes me feel right, though. Deshaun Watson showed up for camp because he didn't want to get fined.
Yeah,
He even walked in and quote Marshawn Lynch, "I'm here so I don't get fined."
Did you really say that?
No, but I did. Yep, that's actually the last one I have on that. Deshaun Watson showed up so he's not getting fined. Dak already strained his shoulder, but he hasn't played or practiced football.
6-8 months.
Yeah.
10 months. Yeah.
Just like every other player that holds out and then gets paid in the holdout. Dez didn't play. Went back and forth on contract disputes. Second he started playing, broke his foot. Was never the same ever.
Yeah.
Zeke held out. Came back. Looked like he ate former Zeke.
Overweight. Yeah.
Couldn't hold on to the ball at all. And now Dak, he didn't hold out or anything, but he got paid coming off of an injury. Hasn't played. This is a shoulder strain. My entire right side of my body is strained right now. It's not going to stop anything.
Yeah.
Who cares? All right, what else do you have?
So before we get to the movie and the TV show, the Olympics are going on right now.
Okay. Go ahead. I got opinions.
We have about a week left of the Olympics. So I'm going to go through things that don't matter first.
Okay.
Medal count.
Medal count.
Currently, China and the U.S., this is as of Saturday morning around 10 a.m. Medal count, China and the United States are tied for first. As far as overall gold, silver, bronze. Mostly
because Russia's not in it. Otherwise, they would be there too.
Close.
Kind of.
So, they're tied at 46. But, China's blowing them out of the water with golds. China has 21 golds. Second place in golds, Japan, with 17. U.S. has 16. Japan is in second place with golds, but they only have 30 overall. Because they have 5 silver, 8 bronze. They're all or nothing. They're gold or they're not winning.
Yeah.
The ROC is in fourth place overall with 37. The Russian Olympic Committee.
I don't know how that's allowed to be.
It was a workaround for the people that were not tested during the original, is my understanding.
Okay, so it's not their premier athletes.
Yes, and they're still in fourth place.
They're premier athletes.
Yes. They have 11 golds. So behind the United States, U.S. has 16, The ROC, Russian Olympic Committee, has 11. And then in 5th place, which was kind of a surprise, but I'm kind of like, good on you. Because you would think 5th place, what, Germany, the UK, Brazil, South American, maybe Jamaica because of running.
And bobsledding.
Feel
the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
5th place, Australia.
Well, good day, mates.
27 overall, 10 gold. So Australia is 1 gold behind Russia.
To expand on the conversation a little bit, I did find out that they're going to introduce jiu-jitsu into the next one in 3 years.
Nice. Is that what
Now,
they're replacing wrestling with this year?
is there wrestling this year?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I've been looking for it, but I haven't
know.
seen it.
I know. Every other time they've had the Olympics since I was interested in wrestling, every time they actually air it on television, it's like 2 a.m. I know there's only 1 week left of the Olympics. I know in years past they've been trying to get rid of the Olympics or get rid of wrestling in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because of COVID, because it is full blown touching constantly contact.
Nah.
Because even in the stands, there's no one in the stands.
I say nah.
I do too, but I haven't seen it.
We need to find out because I haven't seen it either, and I don't know the situation. I've heard the U.S. wrestling team is essentially Jordan Burroughs and then everybody else.
Yeah, we have one guy.
And
whereas it's always like Iran that wins it every year.
Yeah, Iranians are some crazy badass wrestlers, and then
Yeah.
Russians are always crazy badass wrestlers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iran, they
Oddly
always
enough, yeah.
they always have really, really good wrestlers,
Yeah.
and then they kill them for talking bad about the government.
Silver? Yeah. Anyways, so 2 cool stories I heard of before we get to the one that everyone's waiting on. And I'm going to butcher this name, and the other name I don't even know. We'll go with the one I don't know.
How
So
dare
there's a guy's powerlifter. He was doing the clean and press.
Okay.
Or the snatch press, whatever. The one where you do a front squat and then overhead squat, stand up with it.
Yeah.
Right? Dude goes to lift it. He's going to set a Olympic record, not a world record. Going to set an Olympic record. He does it. I watched the video. It looked clean. I'm not a judge. He throws it down, celebrates because he just set an Olympic record. And then one of the judges goes, that didn't count. So what does this man of a man do? He adds more weight and does it again.
Because fuck you.
Because fuck you. And I was like, that's a man right there.
Yep.
That man deserves a trophy of epic proportions.
Yeah. Not only do you deserve whatever medal you get, but someone give you a championship belt that just says bad motherfucker.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, that's a...
Good on you, man. I think it was from China.
Yeah.
It was China, Japan, something like that.
Which...
Little guy lifting a lot of weight.
I think I saw a picture of him in the headline, but I didn't have time to read it. He broke the Olympic record, but also broke his own personal record that he had done before that.
Yeah.
So
I think when he lifted it the first time, he was like, well, that was fucking easy.
he's like,
Throw some more on there.
oh, I didn't do it?
I have to do it a second time anyways.
Yeah,
so.
let's go.
The second one, this is also a really cool story, which I thought you would really be interested in. I don't know if you heard Anastasia Zolotik.
Anastasia
Zolotik, first American woman to ever win gold in Taekwondo. Ever.
I feel I knew that. That America has never won in Taekwondo.
I mean, you would always assume it's China or Japan, like
Korea.
where it came from.
Korea.
Yeah, Korea.
Yeah.
You would assume it's over there.
She's got to be a bad woman to win that.
Yeah, there was a roundhouse kick that came out of left field and
Beautiful. I need to go look it up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. That's fantastic.
so Anastasia Zolotik.
Is American.
In American, yeah. I was writing this out. I'm like, Anastasia is American?
Yeah.
Zolotik.
Anastasia Zolotik.
Yeah.
The most Russian American that we have.
Yeah. So first American. I think she's American born.
Okay.
Because that's why she competes for America.
Yeah.
Because she was born here. While like Luca is competing for somewhere over in Europe.
Yeah.
Team.
They always do that. People like the LeBrons and the KDs and all them stopped competing in the Olympics because it's our super team, and then you have one of our good players.
Yeah.
You know, Luca has the one other European, and then Bourbon's with his group, and then the French dude's over there.
Yeah.
And he's the only good player on their team.
And it was weird. I don't know who's on the American team, but I know it's not the elite of elites.
Yeah.
Like LeBron's not there.
Can we just send the Harlem Globetrotters out there and just do-do-do,
What's in the basketball?
and then they get knocked over and the other person goes and scores because you're going against a real point guard?
Yeah. Anyways, so the big topic of the Olympics this year, Miss Simone Biles.
Okay, so not that we're the type to choose sides, because
we're not.
That's not what we do. We choose to discuss the situation, be like, I wonder what's going to happen, and then move on.
Yeah.
Because we don't really.
Tune in next week. We won't follow up.
Yeah. Because it happened, and, that's their life. They make the choices.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on it?
I'm torn. So, I was in a small town this past week. Not a lot of radio stations. I found the ticket. So all I listened to this past week was the ticket. All they talked about was Simone Biles and Aaron Rodgers. So I have some viewpoints. It's really good.
It's so good.
So good.
It is so good. Martha's drinking it in the other room right now. We'll find out what she thinks.
Yeah.
She probably mixed them all and has no idea which one's which. I think I liked this glass.
Yeah. Smell it. Smell like marshmallows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's two topics of debate. There is kind of, and it is torn generationally. It is torn to where our generation is saying, good on you, protect your mental health.
The younger generation, yes.
You have nothing to prove. You are the most decorated Olympian in our history. The judges even came out and said, we are grading you harder. Which, is that not the point of the Olympics, is to be the best and compete against the best?
And get paid like $30,000
That's like
to
saying,
do it.
oh, LeBron's playing. Yeah, every three-pointer y'all shoot, you only get 2 points. That's how they're grading
It would
Simone
make
Biles.
that part interesting.
Yeah.
Every slam dunk's worth half a point.
But that's the thing, is saying, hey, we have the best of the best in the world here. But we're going to grade her harder because she's better than all of you.
Okay.
Well, hang on. So that's one side of it. Then you have the other side of it that is, you are an elite athlete and you gave up.
Kind of. That's okay. Yes.
You quit. And not only did you quit in a team event, so you quit on your team.
And you use I don't like the word excuse, but the reason you went with was, I was bringing down the team because I wasn't doing what I need to do and wasn't where I meant to be.
Yes.
So I have a couple thoughts.
Okay.
Conflicting.
Okay.
Conflicting.
I'm 100% conflicted. I don't know how to feel about this.
And then I have some information that I recently found out in the past couple of days that kind of changes everything.
Okay.
So what was she, 16?
When she started, yeah. Young.
When she started winning?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you were the best. And deservedly so. She is a ninja. Yeah. Absolute ninja. She's an inspiration.
She's doing things that no one's ever done in the sport before.
100%.
Like everyone thought was impossible to do, she's doing.
What happens when you're good at something?
Spotlight's on you.
You have to take responsibilities that you didn't ask for. You are now the face of U.S. Olympic gymnastics. And she's 22 now.
And she's one of the people that stood up to the doctor.
Do you remember how dumb we were at 22?
We had an apartment where neither of us had a job.
You don't get much more of a better example than that. So at 22, she has an international spotlight on her.
Yeah.
For the Olympics. She has had to take on things that most people never have to deal with, such as the doctor.
Yeah.
You are the face. It is your responsibility. You are the leader. You have to lead that team, whether you like it or not. That is who you are. Mm-hmm. You set the example. Even if you fail, you have to own your failure for your team of, this is what we do. Even in my position at work, I have to lead a group of people to get a job done.
And you grow together or you fail together.
Correct. And my example sets the tone for everyone.
Yeah.
And you couldn't handle it and you walked out on it. Okay. And I played both sides in that of, at 22, all the pressure being put on you, Here's what's expected of you. Here's what's expected for you to handle.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount.
Yeah.
I can barely handle my shit at 30 in my job that's not heavily televised.
Yeah. World renowned.
Or reported on at all. That's a lot to ask of anyone, especially a young, small 22-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Are we looking at the product of everyone gets a participation trophy? Are you seeing something where people don't know how to fail? That's a very, very important lesson that you have to learn and get good at. You have to know how to fail.
You have to know how to fail forward.
Exactly.
Fail and grow.
Fail and grow. If I fail as a leader, that's fine. I have to lead. I fell short here. Here's what we do.
Yeah.
And you bailed on it. You quit because you couldn't handle it. It was too much. Well, that's a failure as a leader too, whether you ask for that role or not. That's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
Both sides. I mean, both sides are valid.
Yeah.
I got put in what position? I have shit anxiety. I have really bad anxiety. Even training for a white belt jiu-jitsu tournament, I have crazy anxiety.
Yeah.
It makes me not want to do anything. 22 in that stage,
Where you're competing against the best of the best for your country.
I'd eat a bullet. I mean, her walking away, I'm like, that's all you did? Good on you.
Yeah.
I'd be hanging with a belt around my neck. Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's legitimately both sides. If you failed as a leader, you failed as the person being the face of American gymnastics, whether you wanted to be or not, you failed there, but you failed because the pressure on you was here. You were not taught how to handle that pressure because at your age, everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
And when you're not a winner, you don't know what to do with that, so you just want to avoid it. And avoidance is the worst thing you can do. Take your hits, own your failures, move on.
Yes.
Fail in front of everyone, say, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Here's what my team did do. Here's what we did. Here's what we accomplished. Here's what we
Here's
did.
what we learned.
Yeah.
And can
Here's what we're
work
gonna
on going
Here's how we know what to do next time.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag. It's hard. It's hard to ask a lot of her. And there's a whole bunch of fat people at home on their computers having opinions on someone who's far better an athlete and has worked harder physically than any of them could ever dream of.
in their entire life.
Ever.
Like, I've seen multiple people try the keto diet 16 times and fail every time. We don't talk about them. We're talking about a girl who's never failed at anything her entire life, and she bows out, and we're saying, quit her.
So let's talk about her and her entire life. She has ADHD.
Yes.
She's been on Ritalin since she was 12 years old.
In Japan.
It's
not allow
illegal
it.
to be on Ritalin in Japan.
Yes.
So now you're competing, and you pulled the medication you've been on your whole life that
suppresses your anxiety.
That keeps you balanced. So then you just supercharge this
amp
girl.
that up to 11.
How can we throw fire on her because that's the culture we're in, and now we have this young group versus old group of good on you worrying about your mental health. Mental health is important, but let's make sure that worrying about our mental health isn't just quitting things that are hard. On the other side of that, I've had this condition my whole life. Here's how I've done it. Here's how I've handled it.
Yeah, here's how I've coped through it.
And here's the success I've had doing that.
Yeah.
You took this out. I can't get here because this is now running free.
Yeah.
It's like you've had a freaking caged animal in the back of the head that can wreak havoc on your emotions, your focus, how you just navigate the day. And you take a pill every day
To keep that cage locked.
to keep that cage locked. And then someone pulls the lock. The animal isn't going to bust out immediately. It's used to it being locked, but realizes the door's open. And it
Come out here, I'm
starts
going to scratch
to...
on this. I'm going to fuck up this.
But then there's a whole bunch of noise, screaming, activity, lights, cameras, people. It pisses off the caged animal, and it goes nuts. And you expect her to hold on as a 22-year-old girl on that stage?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So, grow as a leader, but they handcuffed you.
They
Simone.
took away. They literally set you up for failure.
I definitely think
by
that.
saying, "Hey, this medicine, you cannot take it anymore." Mm-hmm. And this judge is saying, "You're so good, we're going to grade you harder." Not saying, "Hey, this is the Olympics. You're all world-class athletes. We're going to grade you all on the same level playing field." Nope. Y'all are all on the same level playing field, except you.
You better be better.
You're up here. The rest of us, we're down here. Which is where everyone competes.
That's because
you're up
she's
here.
legitimately up there.
She is. But, one, you work for it and you earn it. You are there. You should still play on the same level field. You should be, at that point, you've put in that much more work to guarantee yourself the gold.
Like you said, the NBA doesn't change LeBron's points compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
LeBron's up here and everyone's down here.
Yeah.
No one would argue that. There's people close to him. But for years, it's LeBron and everyone else. His shot still counts for 2 or 3, just like everybody else's.
So, 2 things. One, if Jordan was 94-94, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Jordan had said, "I can't do this. I'm pulling myself out." Would there be an asterisk on Jordan's name?
Yeah.
If they lost? Because in that exact scenario with Simone Biles, they did get silver. Which, take it as you will. Would there be an asterisk on Jordan's name? And speaking of 22-year-old athletes who have never lost, we're about to experience that again in the NFL with Trevor Lawrence. Kid's never lost. He never lost a high school game, never lost a college game, and now he plays for the Jaguars.
No, because he's sure fuck going to lose
He's
soon.
going to lose this year. So
You got to learn today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how his mentality, because he grew up with the same age demographic.
Mm-hmm.
He literally he might be a year or 2 younger than her actually, but roughly the same age. He's just out of college. He just got drafted to the biggest stage in sports history.
He's probably grown up and surrounded by people that tell him how great he is.
Yeah. So what happens when you lose your first game? How do you accept loss?
But
I think he's also got a sports system around him. I'm not saying Simone Biles doesn't have coaches.
Yeah.
But is it the same situation?
In her situation, the Ritalin ADHD factor,
That was a big
that
thing.
changes the story.
Yes.
If she just this is stressful, I'm out.
That's one thing.
I get it because of me.
But to change the chemical imbalance in your brain the same time
At the
and
highest,
add all that,
at the highest anxiety point on
it's
any
a
day,
different story.
it's a different story.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing. She can compete in 4
You're
years.
Still the Michael Phelps of the mat. So
100%. I don't take anything from her.
yeah.
Because even if she walked away, yeah, you have your asterisk of I failed as a leader, I failed as the face of this, but there was shit going on.
Yeah.
Come back stronger. Be like, all you fat people, yeah, I'm going straight for it. All you fat people who had your opinion from your couch
Yeah.
at the last Olympics 3 years ago, well, now I'm in Australia or wherever the hell the next one Olympics is, and I'm kicking ass again. This is what I do. This is how I do it. That one was bullshit.
This is how I bounce back.
Bounce back.
Do it again.
Life is nothing but this.
And you just happen to be at one of these.
And guess what? Everyone's going to forget until the next time they see you on TV in 4 years.
Yeah.
Because Kanye or Kim Kardashian or somebody is going to do something. There's going to be a shooting, or Biden's going to have a fly on his head or fall upstairs, or COVID's going to
Something else is going to happen in
re-COVID.
a month and no one's going to give two
Exactly.
shits about the Olympics.
Yeah. Just weather the storm.
Move the tables.
Move the tables. Keep going.
I don't want this bottle to end.
I know.
I'm slow sipping it.
I am too. We got old Ezra 7 after this, which is amazing, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to finish this one.
I think it's going to take a huge knock following this.
This one's really, really good. Okay. Quick touch on Hawkeye series premiere date,
Yep.
November 24th.
Yep.
Bring back Yelena, bring on Hawkeye, bring on his daughter,
And the rumor,
and the rumor.
bring in Kingpin.
All right, listen.
Struck a nerve.
So we're starting the Mephisto rumor just like 6 months before we even get to the show. That's what we're doing.
Now. That's what Disney Plus is.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do
rumor
here.
mill.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, I got you. If he does, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is one of my. We did a top 10 list of best live action portrayals of a character.
Yeah.
I was the only one that had this. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin was one of the absolute best. It was a different take from the comics, but how he did it,
it worked.
It's so good.
It was a masterpiece.
So good. That is the word. 1000%. Just how he carried himself, it was an intricate masterpiece. So if you put him, even in a scene, you show me his face on a newspaper that you throw down.
That now he's in the MCU.
I am going. You thought I'd take nerd Viagra because I will be hard for days. No doctor will be able to fix this. Blood clots will be an issue. But dear God, yes. With that said, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit early.
We'll see. I mean, I think they already have their villain. Oh, another thing I wanted to touch on.
Oh.
Okay, so I saw this theory. It is a TikTok theory, but it makes sense this time.
Okay. This time.
Have you ever heard of the Apple Clause?
No.
So there's an Apple Clause where if Apple product is in a movie, primarily an iPad, because that's usually what it is.
Oh, the good guy, bad guy thing?
Only the good guy's allowed to hold it.
Correct.
At the end of Black Widow, Yelena is holding the iPad.
The iPhone?
It was an iPad when they're showing
an
Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
They're showing this is the person that's responsible for the death of your sister.
Okay, yes.
And she hands her, so she physically holds it. Now there's an Apple Clause saying only the good guy can hold the Apple product. So does that mean Yelena's the good guy and Hawkeye's the bad guy?
No.
Or they're both the good guy?
They're both the good guys.
Up?
Yeah. They're not going to team up, but...
That's what I figured. They're both good, and there's going to be a bigger bad.
Correct. Now, to expand on that, Agent Carter, Sharon Carter, at the end of Captain America Winter Soldier, when she called somebody after being exonerated from everything and said, hey, I got access to way more, she was not
on an iPhone.
On an Apple product. She was like with one of us evil sons bitches, and we use Android.
Team Hydra.
Hail Hydra. I got a new mouth guard made, and they're like, well, what color do you want? I was like, color? Yeah, black, red, blue, green. I was like, well, can I customize it? I was like, what does that mean? She's like, it's really expensive. I was like, I'm willing to be dumb. How expensive? She's like, $400. So what colors am I looking at again?
Were you going to get like a Hail Hydra?
Fuck yeah, I was. I was going to get black with Hail Hydra and red across it. Or I was going to get lime green with red and purple Haas. Like on my tattoo.
Yeah.
Like that kind of look on it. Instead, I just went straight lime green. That way I know it's mine.
If you were going to compete for years and years to come, I'd say fucking do it.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah. A couple tournaments.
Yeah, a tournament here and there just to kind of knock off the rust while I try and get some belts.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's fair.
But, yeah. So, yes, Sharon Carter might be a bad guy because she was not on an iPhone.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to... Did you watch any of Masters of the Universe?
I watched the first episode in preparation for this. So I've seen one of the 5.
First episode was good.
Yeah. So I've never watched Masters of the Universe my entire life.
Okay.
So it was... I looked it up. It was in 1983 to 1985. And then it's kind of come and gone since then.
Yeah, there was an early 2000s one that I didn't even know existed.
There was a mid-90s one.
Yeah.
It was like 93, I think.
Yeah, there was a late 80s, early 90s show with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
I said show. I meant movie. God, this was good.
Yeah, it was. So the entire series is going to be about 2 hours long.
So it is part 1. It's part 1.
Okay.
It's 5 episodes.
Yep.
On the first part. It takes a turn because, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it already, They kill He-Man
Pretty early.
right out of the gate
Yeah.
in a really badass battle. And God, do I love Mark
It
Hamill.
was kind of just like a badass scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God, do I love Mark
Yeah.
Hamill.
I saw Mark Hamill was in it. And then Kevin Smith wrote it and directed it and all produced it.
He was the showrunner.
Yeah.
Mark Bernardin, he wrote episode 3. So if you ever listen to Fat Man Beyond, Mark Bernardin's the guy with him.
Yeah.
So he wrote episode 3. They worked on that one together. The whole series, just as a storytelling event, solid.
Yeah.
Ends crazy or starts crazy, ends crazy. The middle 3 are heavily centered around Tila,
Okay.
which caused the internet in the way that it does to spaz out and call it woke. Guys, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Heroes get lost. Backup characters have to come in. This backup character, she had a haircut of some kind that offended. It's an animation. It's a cartoon.
They drew it differently.
It's like when Ryan Hurst did an interview and they're like, well, how'd you feel about them killing Opie? They're like, here's the thing. People die. Except in this case, nobody died. They stopped writing it.
It's like when Chandler was like, oh, I'm sorry, it was really sad when they stopped drawing Bambi's mom.
Yeah, when they stopped drawing the character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's what it is.
we're going to be mad about an animated haircut. You guys need more important things to worry about. Why can we not just sit down and enjoy something as it's given to us and respect it for what it is? Me and you do that, which is why we have these conversations.
Yeah.
There's other people in our circles, outside of our circles, that are like, no, I couldn't do it. And they're entitled to their opinion, but you have so many things that you need to clear just to enjoy something.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot. I just take it as is and then decide.
Yeah.
Take my money.
I like this, or that was dumb.
Yeah. You're like, oh my
Move
God.
on.
You gave me this. I went in, watched it as is, and it was the greatest thing ever. Thank you, Thor Ragnarok. Or I went in and watched the whole thing and was like, I won't get that time back, but I see what they tried to do.
Yeah.
Move on,
And
Captain
you
Marvel.
give your own opinion off of it.
Exactly. But don't, I can't watch this, or I turned it off 5 minutes in because it did this thing. And in this case, the animated character had a different
Give that one a second.
cartoon haircut. Whoa!
It didn't fog up the glass at all, but it stayed potent in there.
Smells like weed. Doesn't it? It smells skunky?
A little herbal.
Yeah. No wonder this one's popular. It's subsiding, but that first smell
that
was
first
kind of
whiff,
skunky.
Which I went clunk.
I did the same.
Yeah, you're going to give that one a second.
Yeah, we're going to let that one breathe.
It's called Old Ezra for a reason.
It should be called Skunky Ezra.
Air out a little bit.
Oh, man. That was a lot. But yeah, people have a lot of opinions on the show. I'd strongly encourage you to watch the next 4 episodes. They're like 30 minutes apiece.
Yeah, they range 25 to 26.
Yeah, so easily digestible. There's some funny lines, some funny flashbacks. It overall was a really solid show, and apparently shit gets real
In this part 2.
in part 2.
Do they have a release date for part 2?
They do. I don't remember what it is. Again, if we had a fact checker.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a fact checker?
But Kevin Smith did his podcast talking about the release and everything, and he flat out said, he's like, I think it's episode 7. We have like a full-on Invincible level fight scene where it's like how he is with his dad.
Yeah.
Not that level of, gore
Emotion.
and violence, but that level of action for like the entire episode.
Okay. I'm in. I'll watch the other ones. Like I said, the entire first part is 2 hours.
Yeah,
Essentially.
collectively, it's one
2
movie.
hours and like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's a cart.
Run
It's
through
a,
them and see what it's like.
it's a cartoon. It's Masters of the Universe. If you watch Masters of the Universe, it has all the characters that you remember and liked. Yeah, you either care too much about stuff that doesn't matter and you're not going to like it,
Yeah.
or you just accept things the way they are and have a good time with it. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I see it.
The crazy thing is for me, animated stuff is very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Invincible in the very beginning, I was like, I don't really know if I'm into this.
You're more cautious with animated stuff than I am.
Yes.
Me, I'm like content and story.
Yeah. So I put this on this morning after walking the dogs, and I was sitting there kind of watching it on the TV. In the very beginning, I was like, meh, okay. Got on my phone for a second, looked back up and saw a scene, and then from the moment I looked back up to the moments the credits started, I was laser beam focused on the show.
Now,
And I'm not one. I don't watch any anime, and I'm very partial to what animated shows I actually watch.
yeah. You're not someone, like, I watch all kinds of crap. I have zero issues. Give me Dragon Ball Z, give me Batman the Animated Series, give me Batman Beyond, X-Men from the 90s, Spider-Man from the 90s, Justice League, all the DC animated catalog. I know you haven't dived into a lot of them.
I started watching Deathstroke this past week on HBO.
The series?
The show.
Yeah.
The movie.
The movie?
It's an animated movie.
He has an animated movie?
Yeah. It's on HBO.
Well, fuck, I know what I'm doing today.
I know DC something Gabe doesn't know. You won! And it was Deathstroke.
Only took us 29 weeks. See ya! That's awesome. And it was Deathstroke. I'm going to have that dude tattooed on my body, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it and be like, I did know this. Fuck you. But, yeah, dive in. Man, there's a ton of DC animated on HBO Max.
Yeah, there is a lot. And a lot of characters, too. Not just Batman. Superman.
I have not seen a bad one.
Yeah.
Justice League Dark Apocalypse.
Yeah. I think you told me about that one, yeah.
Watch it. Watch it tonight. I don't know what you got going on. I don't care.
Cancel.
Reschedule it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Watch that one specifically. It actually centers around Constantine.
Oh, okay.
Dark, violent, very good.
Okay.
Very good. But legitimately, all of them are good. If you're getting into comic books and you're reading more comic books than probably I have up to this point with that app that you have access to.
The Marvel Unlimited.
If you like comic books, you will like these shows.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to read. You're just going to watch the comic book play out.
Yeah.
That's how these movies are.
Yeah.
Marvel missed on the animated series and nailed live action. DC missed on live action,
But nailed the animated series.
unlike any other.
Okay.
So many of them. Really, legitimately just pick one, and it probably won't
Probably
fail.
good.
If you're not sure, or you're like, this one or this one, fucking text me, and I'll tell you. But,
All right.
yeah, legitimately. Okay, so I'm pulling up old Ezra. So what I'll do next is we will talk about my last topic, Space Jam 2. And then...
Still not as good as Jordan.
Oh, God, no. But also, we're not 7, so...
I'll give my points on it. Old Ezra.
Go ahead
Okay,
and
the
give your
skunk
points.
has subsided.
The skunk has subsided. Go ahead and give your points. There is a funky-ass note in this thing, though. Old Ezra is Luxco, which, again, recently got bought out by MGP. Oh. It's got a whole bunch of my body wash smell.
Really reset the nose palette.
Now I don't know what to smell. Space Jam 2. Full disclosure, I was really, really tired. I had taken a whole bunch of magnesium and CBD and anti-inflammatories, and I, for the life of me, could not hold on to stay awake through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just kept waking up at pieces on the third act, but I fell asleep right after they got the Toon Squad together.
Okay.
I did see my favorite part, and I want to go back just to watch this, is how they brought in
The other Warner Brothers movies.
all the Warner Brothers characters across the board, all of them.
So I will start with two things. They're both major. The movie sucked, and I loved it.
Well, we knew it was okay. It sucked based on what?
It's okay. Are we just gonna run through these, or are we gonna hit old Ezra?
We're gonna finish on old Ezra and toast at the end. I'm just smelling it.
Okay, so, it was a kids movie. I knew that going into it, and I expected that going into it.
LeBron James is a basketball player, not an actor.
Yes.
We know that.
I know there's going to be a young actor, the actor that plays his son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on his name. I want to say Terrence Howard, but no, it's the guy that replaced Terrence Howard.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. I did not like Don Cheadle. And this is why. It is very difficult to play a bad person in a kid's movie. You're going to come off as cheesy and corny and awful the entire time.
That's your job, to be so over the top.
Ridiculous and over the top that you are hated by little kids and annoyed by adults.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to run into. That was hard for me to get over watching this. That was the only thing that was hard for me to get over watching this, besides LeBron's acting, which was not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
No, he wasn't as good as he was in Trainwreck,
Yes.
the Amy Schumer movie.
Yes, but he had bits and pieces. He was the main actor.
He was in spots, and he was playing a dorky version of himself, trying to hang out with Bill Hader.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
That was hilarious.
This where he has to be the main actor and carry a storyline.
It's different.
Struggled a little bit, but I could tell dude had fucking fun making this movie.
That does
the
come
other
through.
thing I realized, there was a scene. What was the scene? Hang on, I'm gonna try to flashback to it. There was a scene where it was young LeBron, which one the coach was one of the linebackers from Remember the Titans, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
strong side,
yeah.
Julius
Campbell.
That was his dad. So the beginning of the movies were very similar. Dad, kid, showing up all their highlight reels, stuff like that.
The coach, kid,
Yes.
the dad, kid. Yeah.
There was a scene in the movie where I'm like, wait, that happened when I was a kid. How old is LeBron? LeBron's 36.
Uh-huh.
He's only 5 years older than me.
Yep.
I said that to my brother as he walked in the room. I go, LeBron's only 5 years older than me. He goes, what are you doing with your life? I go, watching LeBron on TV.
Yeah. Watching him be better than all of us.
Yes.
Well, Simone Biles is fucking 22. Patrick Mahomes is like 24. Has $500 million.
Yeah. We have a podcast. Anyway, so opening scene, very similar to the other one. They show him with his dad. His dad's like, you got to focus if you want to be great.
Yeah.
Does the same thing with the kids. LeBron was also, I think Jordan was also doing something like video game-esque in the first one, to where he wasn't fully focused.
He was playing baseball.
That's what it was. He was playing baseball.
Yeah.
And then LeBron was playing the Bugs Bunny Nintendo Game Boy game.
Yeah.
Um,
No, they were watching Looney Tunes.
Is that what it was?
In the Jordan one, and then he was playing the Bugs Bunny video game
in the LeBron one.
in the LeBron one.
So he goes on to his kids, and so that whole bit was cool. It was building up the storyline.
Yeah.
His kid built a video game. The video game's a basketball game. Foreshadowing. Like we called it right then. Like, well, that's how they're gonna play the bad guys. It's gonna be in the kid's video game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be against the kid. Saw that a million miles away. The fun parts of this movie, and there were a lot of fun, because again, I've said this in multiple podcasts, and I'll say it till the end of time. I am a sucker for nostalgia.
Yep.
If you throw something at me that came from my childhood, I get all fucking giddy, and I was like, yes!
I love this.
Yes.
I know this.
This touched on everything. There were flashbacks to Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Harry Potter.
Yep.
The Matrix.
Yep.
In the third act, they're down. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'll get to that. When they're down and out and they're going to halftime and they're doing their rousing speech, and I think it was Daffy Duck goes, guys, I got him. He's here. We're going to win. He goes, I got Michael Jordan. And then the outline of a person appears.
Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan walks out.
It's the wrong one.
He's like, I was going to get popcorn, and this duck grabbed me, and I'm here. And, okay, so that was gold, because I didn't see it coming, because it's Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
There you go. You couldn't even get Michael A. Jordan. You got to get B. Jordan. I laughed out loud pretty hard. But then he goes, come on, guys. Full eyes, full hearts, can't lose. From Friday Night Lights, the show he was on. Oh, I lost it, because I love that show.
Yeah.
He's on that show. And that was their rousing. That was how they kind of got everyone back together.
Ooh, goosebumps.
Oh, yeah, I got it too.
Yep.
I kind of like it touched me in a happy place.
Yeah.
And
those bringing back the memories of, I remember being able to escape from the bullshit that I was dealing with, whatever it was at that time, into this thing.
Yes.
Whether it was Looney Tunes when I was a kid, sitting at my aunt's house, or for you, Friday Night Lights, because I could go home, turn off my brain from work or relationship or family or whatever the case was. I could dive into this, escape for a minute, and it brings me this peace.
Yeah.
That's where our nostalgia comes from, is reliving that piece that you had that one time of, I really enjoyed this because it brought me this moment. And you reference back to something that I was enjoying.
Yes,
100%. When it comes into that, to jump ahead a little bit, into that third act where it literally vomits Warner Brothers characters.
All of them.
And
when I mean all of them. Everyone was in it but Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there were some other people that were like, I even watched a video today to try to help me collect all the people that were in it from old stuff, because I paused it and went through. There's him, there's her, there's him, there's her.
Beetlejuice, Penguin,
yes.
Yeah.
And there was people I was like, I don't know who this is, but I'm sure they're famous. I watched some videos and they were like, ooh, we should not have put her in there because she is not a good person. But basically, even the guy in the video was like, yep, everyone's in here but Pepe because of reasons. But before we get to that, the throwbacks to when they're recruiting.
Wait, there was reasons Pepe wasn't in it?
He's a pedophile, or he's a rapist, or whatever. He's not in the Looney Tunes anymore.
Because he
promotes rape culture.
Forcing himself onto a cat.
Yeah. So he's not even in the Looney Tunes anymore. He's been canceled. That happened like 6-8 months ago. Yeah, it wasn't major news, but he was part of the whole cancel culture thing. Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah. Remember what I said about
people have too many reasons to get upset about things?
Worrying about the wrong things?
Yeah. Because I watched Pepe Le Pew as a kid, and I'm not a rapist.
Yeah.
So
I never thought that, that skunk's onto something.
I need to go force myself on a cat.
You know what I legitimately thought? That's one confused skunk. That's all.
That's it. But yeah, he's the only Looney Tune that is not in Space Jam 2. Only Warner Brothers.
Old Ezra.
Yeah.
I'm shutting the whole thing down off of that. I can't.
The fun flashbacks of Gotham.
Yeah.
When they're on the train.
Yeah.
Mad Max was hilarious.
That one was good.
With the recognize me, spray paints his teeth, and that was gold. We also had Austin Powers.
We did have Austin Powers.
We had Casablanca.
Yep.
We had a Rick and Morty. Not really a flashback, but then
he showed up.
Like, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah.
We had two Game of Thrones flashbacks. There's another one where the big burly cat thing had a blonde wig and was running around on a dragon.
Yeah.
Matrix flashback with Speedy Gonzalez and the old grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And Speedy Gonzalez was what's his name? The big fluffy Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh yeah.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. Huh?
Yes.
Good for him.
And then the best flashback, the Wonder Woman flashback.
That
when,
with
Lola is going through the initiation to become an Amazon. And uses the lasso of truth to save LeBron and Bugs.
Yep.
That
was good.
Like when they shot that and like ran through the whole gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'll give you that one. That movie was crap.
Yeah.
But that, what the best part of Wonder Woman 1984 was? When Space Jam 2 did it better.
Yeah. Go back, play the Suns game. So I'm going to run through some crowd members that I saw.
Okay.
We saw Flintstones, Yogi Bear, Iron Giant, King Kong, Great Gonzo, a Yeti, Game of Thrones Dragon, Night King from Game of Thrones, Mr. Freeze, Matrix Agents, Penguin from Batman.
We did.
Spartans,
We
I
did.
guess that's also Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
The Nuns. It was like a Warner Brothers like scary movie. Where there was like scary
The
nuns.
Nun. It was a.
I think it was called The Nuns or something like that.
I think it was just called The Nun. It was a spinoff from the Annabelle.
Yes.
Conjuring
multiple
group.
Jokers, new, old, and Joker's goons from the animated series. Pennywise.
Yep. Saw
The monkey
Pennywise.
from one of the monkeys from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
The Mask. This one also was skeptical. The Clockwork Orange goons were in it.
Okay. Hold on.
You couldn't handle the skunk.
The fuck on.
But the goons from Clockwork Orange.
So, son of a. So a confused, overly aroused skunk who wasn't great at hearing the word no, but didn't actually do anything. I haven't tasted it yet, but didn't actually do anything, is out. But the group of people that breaking and entering, assault, and I'm pretty sure legitimately raped.
I've only seen the movie once when I was a teenager. I
Same.
shouldn't have seen the movie then.
Same. That's okay.
That's okay. But we're going to allow that.
Again,
But
a
not
confused,
skunk.
overly aroused, I wouldn't even call him rapey. I just call him forward.
Yeah.
It's too much. But he doesn't actually do anything.
Yes, but the Clockwork Orange goons
It's okay.
who incite violence and... Yeah. So they were there.
I don't know if you can fucking zoom in on my eyes.
I haven't learned that feature yet.
But
Editing.
dear God, people, that would... Okay. I can't.
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
Multiple Catwomen.
Uh-huh.
The War Boys.
Okay.
Batman and Robin.
Yep.
And I think it was multiple Batman and Robins.
It was different, yeah.
And the old Space Jam alien villains.
The
They made-
Mod Squad or whatever it was.
Yeah. They made their appearance. The only other thing that I have...
Beetlejuice was in there.
Beetlejuice was in there, yeah.
Beetlejuice was in there.
There was a character, I guess, from an old movie. It was a woman. She looked like a little demonic. It might have been because her makeup, the old, whatever movie she was in, apparently that woman outside of that movie was a horrible, terrible person and did horrible, terrible things.
But
I don't
fuck
know
that
the full
skunk.
backstory, but yeah, fuck that skunk. The other thing in our day and age, the villains were both from the NBA and the WNBA.
Uh-huh. That I did know.
The villains were Anthony Davis, who's on the Lakers.
Yep.
Klay Thompson on the Golden State Warriors. Damian Lillard, who's on the Portland Trailblazers, requesting a trade after the Olympics.
Call him,
and then-
Dallas.
Huh?
I said, call him, Dallas.
Yeah. Diana Taurasi
Uh-huh.
from the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
And
She was the snake.
yes, she was a snake.
She
So-
was on... Have you ever watched The Shop?
Yes.
They just had one where she was on there. They had another one where it was Tom Brady and Chelsea Handler and a whole bunch of... And then there's another one with Bad Bunny. And either way, she was on there and they were talking about Space Jam 2 and talking about being in that. It just shows that we're getting recognized as,
Athletes,
we're
and-
athletes too. We
yeah.
can do this stuff too. So that was cool to see.
And really, her was really cool because she was the White Mamba.
Mm-hmm.
She was the White Snake. That was her name, was the White Mamba. That was a nickname given to her by Kobe,
Who was the
Black Mamba.
That one is cool. That one.
So
gave
that
me,
was
fuck, that one gave me
that was
chills.
a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that gave me chills.
Anthony Davis was the Brow
Yeah.
with the big bird with the one unibrow.
Yeah.
Which that'll be his claim to fame for the rest of his life.
Play to your skills, man.
Klay Thompson was Wetfire. Damian Lillard was Kronos, who was the time controlling robot, which his thing was caramel explosion, huh?
But with like some tobacco.
Yeah, that's the explosion.
It ends on the leather tobacco, but you got caramel up front.
Caramel up front, yeah. And it's a mouthful of flavor.
The nose was way more herbal and oaky than I had expected for the
The palate.
palate.
Yes.
They did not match.
No. And they still don't.
So let's wrap up Space Jam 2 and we'll read the notes on this.
We also have Naneke Ogulmike.
Nailed it.
I got pretty close, I think. She was Arachnica. She was a spider.
Spider.
So, that was the
Okay.
entire cast.
So my spirit was crushed in the absolute ridiculousness of the decisions made and characters. Guys, we need bigger things to care about. Like, there's real problems out there.
Yeah.
There's hungry children. Like, a cartoon? Mm-hmm. This is why I have four friends. Legitimately. Yeah. And no social media worth a shit. I have Instagram that's an echo chamber of tattoos, comic book drawings, workouts, and NFL, UFC, and WWE. Like, and whiskey. Yeah. Like, somebody brought up, did you hear about this new COVID thing?
Nope.
No. I didn't. So, okay. So, I got real herbally, kind of dusty corn type of grain smells on the nose.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Grainy.
I didn't see a Luxco or Ezra Brooks website that gave notes. Excuse me.
But another taster.
Went with Breaking Bourbon.
Okay.
They give they give a lot of reviews. I like them a lot. They have actually turned me on to a lot. They were the ones that turned me on to Knob Creek 12.
Okay.
Saying, go buy this.
Try this. Yeah.
You want this. So, trust their judgment. It's a few guys. They also do the Bourbon Pursuit podcast.
Yeah.
A few different times. And so, yeah. On the nose, very traditional set of bourbon scents. Consists of vanilla, caramel, brown sugar, and oak. Other than brown sugar and oak, I got more herbal and corn smell. It's mild for a high-proof bourbon, and its aromas are straightforward with no frills. It's basic and unexciting, yet solid nevertheless. It has a touch of cherry and spice near the end, but it's fleeting and not at all impactful. So they're saying that the nose is fairly simplistic and isn't overwhelming. It's definitely not the Toasted Barrel.
No.
Not even remotely.
The flavor, though, okay, so not following the Toasted Barrel and having just Old Ezra 7-year, it's a very solid pour.
Oh, it's very good, yeah. Pour. I get the brown sugar and oak. I don't get a lot of heavy vanilla or caramel.
I don't get any vanilla or caramel.
Yeah. A touch of cherry, I can get like a sweet fruitness on the end, but for me to say, oh, that's a touch of cherry is a fucking stretch at best. On the palate, quick taste. That's a good solid pour. It really is. A surprisingly lively burst of flavor that ranges from sweet fruit to rich caramel and spicy oak. Nailed it.
Yep.
Its heat can get in the way of the flavors at time. I didn't think so.
No, this lingers.
This does linger.
This does linger.
But I don't think it's overly hot.
No, not at all.
Mostly because we're kind of brats. If you're not in the 60s, you're not
Leave
shit.
it at home.
Yeah. Doesn't muddle or suppress any of the flavors to a detrimental degree. Yeah, I agree with that. Full flavored affair, adequate complexity, satisfying impact. I'd agree with all those statements.
Yeah.
Finish. Oak. Yeah. Spice. Yeah. Dark cherries. Again, kind of a sweet fruit note, but nothing to carry over. Heat does long lasting. Yeah. Doesn't make it easy to forget. Yeah. A bit too dry and more thin than I would have liked. But thankfully, there is a nice pop of vanilla and candied apple near the end that is short but beneficial. Okay, so I get the dryness, that kind of tobacco finish.
Yeah.
The leather tobacco finish, that dryness. I get that. But
I'm not let down by this at all.
I'm...
Okay, so...
He kind of, outside the palate, they kind of lowered this. Overall, it's a 3 out of 5 barrels. They run it on the 5-barrel grade for them. Nose 2.5.
So that
palate,
gives it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, palate 3.5. Finish 3. Uniqueness 3. Value 4.
So we have TikTok where we've done bourbon reviews. Our TikTok was some of my band for a week, which is why we have not continued on with our 23-1.
We got banned, like full on banned.
It wasn't like a full-on ban. It was like a, hey, don't post anything for a week so we can verify your stuff. Because I was posting a lot of Marvel content. They were like, hang on, let's make sure we're good. We are good. We are unbanned. But we haven't posted anything in like 2 weeks because of it. Getting back on it this week to continue the 23-1. There was a giant red flag when all of our videos were getting 200 to 300, 400 views at a time. And then I posted Black Panther versus Captain America Winter Soldier, and it got 3 views. I was like, that's not right. And then, yeah, we were shadow banned. That's what the kids call it these days.
God, do I hate social media.
We weren't told we were banned, but we were not actively
being shown.
Being shown, yes.
Yeah.
We're back up, but we did bourbon reviews. So that being said, they essentially gave it a 6 out of 10. I would give this a little bit higher, but I want to know where you would rank this on a 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 7.4, whatever, out of 10. They gave it a 6. I would give this much higher.
I want to give it much higher. Ooh, okay. So
this is a good solid pour, and because the guy that
I think this is the kind for me that I like it now, but I know I'm going to go back and have a glass of this, and
you
just
might
sit
not
there
like
and
it
be
as
like,
much there.
it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be dry and spicy to the point that I'm not going to like it that day, or it's going to be the opposite. Like the Doc Swinson is dry and spicy, but when you have it,
it's that burst of flavor, which I do like.
Yeah. So that's going to be one or the other. So based on that, I think I'm going to give a 7.6.
I was going to say 7.7. So
yeah, okay.
Pretty close.
Yeah. In the realm.
I think the Penelope Toasted is a little higher.
I'd give that an 8.5.
It was going to be in the 8s for me.
Yeah.
I have yet to give anything a higher than anything in the 8s. I've not given a 9-point rating. I think the highest rating I've given so far was the St. Cloud, which I really liked.
Yes,
that one was I think I was a bigger fan than everyone in our group.
For me, that, especially because that could open up into a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's an 8.5.
Yeah.
For being sourced MGP, done and toasted, 8.5. Yeah.
Makes me want to go pick up another one on the way back, just so I make
Probably
sure get a couple of those.
Probably should, since they're limited release.
Yes.
Like, it makes me, and again, I can't drink. I'm in training camp. This is all I get to have. It makes me want to go buy a bottle just to make sure I have one.
Yeah.
Because that one is good. In fact, I might. I'm thinking real hard about it right now.
All right. Yeah. We had 3 solid whiskeys today. That was another. We've been blessed and lucky the past couple of podcasts.
We are spoiled as shit. Spoiled. But you did acquire 3 whiskeys that we were commissioned to do a bad whiskey review.
Yes.
So we got 3 whiskeys that we were told were not good.
Yep.
And told to genuinely taste and review those.
Do one of these with those 3.
We should bring her on to have to do it.
We should.
We should make her do it with us.
Yeah, so the bottles are given to me by my sister, who was originally the person, or one of the people that got me into bourbon. Gave me my first bottle, which was a Michter's bourbon. Mm-hmm. And she is pretty much as into it as I am, just with a little. I wouldn't even say much smaller, a little smaller collection than I have.
Yeah, you told me they were growing pretty good. So
yeah, they've got their own whiskey cabinet and everything too. They have a sticker system with a thumbs up or a thumbs down sticker. So we have 3 thumbs down stickers. I know one is 8 and Sand. I can't remember the other two off the top of my head. Yeah, Clyde Mays, 8 and Sand.
I don't remember what the last one was.
I don't remember the last one. So I think that's going to be the next episode. We're going to do bad whiskey review.
We should make her do it with us. We'll pick a couple topics and tell her, here's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to do these whiskey reviews. You're going to do them with us.
Yeah.
It can be a short episode. It's fine. I see her being
That'll also give us a third opinion, too.
Yeah. I see her being really uncomfortable with it.
She'd be the fact checker for a week.
She wouldn't say anything. She'd just be in the background. This is good.
This was good. These were all good. We did them in the right order.
I agree.
Maybe we could have finished with the Penelope Toasted, but
no, we did in the right order. Penelope Toasted
was
super good, though.
social medias.
Christian Mingle, Adult Friend Finder for the podcast. Instagram, Facebook.
Whiskey and Nerd Shit. Pretty much Whiskey and Nerd Shit on everything. Whiskey and Nerd Shit with the I as a 1 on Instagram. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We don't post a lot on Facebook, but we're there. Instagram and TikTok are the best ways to find us, where we do Whiskey and Nerd Shit shorts, we do bourbon reviews. We are currently ranking the 23-1 Marvel movies. We are in round 2 of that now, so half of the movies are already out.
Battling.
Not
ranking.
Essentially, yeah, we are battling.
Battling.
We are battling in a ranking type system. It isn't a basketball type bracket.
Yeah.
Think Sweet 16. And that will continue going this week, starting probably Sunday or Monday. Picking back up with Black Panther versus Captain America Winter Soldier 2, which I expect to be a really close one. And yeah, until then, we will continue to stay nerdy, drink whiskey, Hail Hydra.